Good afternoon, everyone. Bettina Carey here, the founder of We Empower You and the global movement. This is a really great day because this is our Wednesday meeting that we have at 3 p.m. every single Wednesday. And I'm so excited because not only do we have our millionaire mentor, Lee Romanoff, who's going to be speaking to us today, giving us marketing strategies and tips. We're going to lead off the program with Brian Gregory from Admanity, who's also going to be a speaker at the We Empower Your Life, We Empower You Global Virtual Summit. So if you're on Facebook, what I'd like you to do is go to weempoweryourlife.com and click on the calendar tab, find the Wednesday meeting, Zoom link, and join us because we'd love to see you here where we are because we follow that marketing strategy session with a networking mixer where you get to speak up about your business. And because these are on Facebook Live and recorded, we also load them up to YouTube. You'll get a chance to have your brand spotlighted on the We Empower You community. Members and non-members and guests are welcome to attend. These are free meetings. And so it's with great pleasure that I welcome Brian Gregory. If you want to unmute and introduce yourself, it's so great to have you back.
Thanks, Bettina. It seems like it's just been moments since I've been on the air. I'm going to have to fire my publicist and hire you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So we teamed up and we partnered up with you because you have this fascinating algorithm that you've created called Admanity Protocol. Tell us a little bit about your background, what got you started on this path, and what is Admanity?
Yeah, sure. Algorithms are not exciting by nature. I think most of us get frustrated by algorithms, but in this case, this one actually does you some good, especially if you have a business and you'd like to sell your stuff to the world. Admanity was created for small businesses so that they could easily understand their brand. And I know that sounds kind of wishy-washy because of course you understand your brand. You understand your business, but most people truly don't understand their brand in the sense that what does it take to sell it? What does it take to convince another person that this is something they should own, they should buy, they should acquire? And so it is one step further into the psychology of what it takes to market yourself to the world. And nobody wants to go back to marketing school. Nobody wants to go back to college. Nobody wants to take long, lengthy, expensive courses. So we decided we would create an algorithm that would just figure any business out in 5 minutes. You take a simple little quiz online, answer some simple questions about your business, and then the algorithm uses all of in a nutshell, it's comparing you and acquiring a lot of information from your answers. And then we can tell which advertising formulas would work excellent for your brand based on all the most successful advertising formulas of all time. We went back about 100 years and looked at the ads that changed the game for businesses, brands, big brands, little brands, all kinds of brands that are now huge that were nothing at the time. And how did they get big? And what changed their game? And when you see the types of ads that literally take a company from zero to superhero, you have to look at that. Okay, there's something to that. There's a formula at work. And we found everything is based on human emotions. And there's 15 of them. 15 emotions that have sold every product on earth. Different combinations of the same emotions over and over and over again. And when you see them on TV, you don't really notice it. It's not like there's a decoder at the bottom of the screen telling you which emotions are being used at this present point. But trust me, they are. Advertising is formulaic at its base, and it's super creative as to what you see. And so a lot of these formulas just get used over and over and over again. I'll give you a good example. How many of you have ever watched a sitcom? Everybody, right? I've been watching sitcoms my entire life. That's a long, long time, by the way. And they all use the same formula, every single one. They all start off with urgency. There's a big problem. The main characters create a problem, right? And oh my God, we've messed up. And then they spend the rest of the sitcom time doing something altruistic, trying to fix it, trying to do the right thing, trying to do the honest thing, the smart thing, put it back together, and they make us laugh as they stumble and bumble all the way to the finish line. And although you've seen that formula 1,000 times, we even watch the reruns of the sitcoms we've already seen. It doesn't bother us. And the reason is because your subconscious mind loves repetition, loves seeing things that it enjoys over and over. And so it doesn't annoy us when we see it again and again and again. And so we watch this formula, game shows, very similar formula at work there. You never really mind watching other people compete for big bucks. And there's a formula that's doing that. Infomercials have a formula. They never deviate from it. Infomercial products sell more than, would you believe that Chuck Norris's Total Gym, have you guys all seen the Total Gym where he's, moving and all that? 1 billion in sales so far for the Total Gym. Infomercials are serious money makers if you know the formula. Now, your brand has a formula. In fact, you have several of them, and we'll show them to you. And that's kind of what we do. Oh, great. Bettina's got my little chart there for y'all to look at. Okay, so here's the 15. I was telling you about these 15 emotions. There they are. You don't have to worry about the colors right now. Just look at the names of them, and you'll see, I'll just read across. Affinity, that's happiness. Approval is popularity. Fascination, that's excitement. Admiration is envy. Altruism is empathy. Authority is trust. Community is belonging to something. Temptation is desire. Ambition is greed. Attraction is transformation, improvement. Service is a life of ease and convenience. Persuasion is association. We'll get into that. And urgency is fear. Prestige is ego. And innovation is curiosity. And so these emotions combine to create almost every great ad you've ever seen, read in a magazine, watched on TV. And so our company specializes in breaking this down so we can show you not only the formulas that have been used successfully, but more importantly, the ones that will work for your company, specific to you. That's a much more interesting topic. I can give you stories and examples of big brands who broke through using a very specific formula, but it may not apply to your brand. So when we analyze your company in 5 minutes, thanks to the space age algorithm, right? Normally this would take weeks. An ad agency would take weeks to months to do this kind of thought process, and they would charge $5,000 to $10,000. Most agencies have told us that's what it, because you figure a couple months of any agency's time is going to be worth at least that. We do it for $397 out the door. So it's a one-time cost that most brands should go through. I guarantee Bettina has gone through it, and it was an eye-opener for Bettina because it forces you to think of your brand from a different perspective. You're not just features and benefits, and this is what I've always sold, and this is how I sell it. Now it's the emotional touch points that make people buy. It's a lot more fun because it's a lot more productive. So,
great. And if you wouldn't mind diving into the authority brand, which is what we came out as, and share a little bit of what does that really mean? How do we deploy that? What does it mean for our messaging, and for even as much as our colors? Everything about the brand is already defined for us.
Yeah, it's a book of answers. So in a nutshell, you're going to get about 150 pages of information all about you, what you should do, what you should emulate. In Bettina's case, her brand is the authority brand, a brand you must trust. Okay, they're going to do some things for you, typically in an authority brand, that are beyond your power, and you're going to have to trust them to do it to help you, because you can't just waltz out and do it yourself. That's the typical characteristic of an authority brand. A doctor is another good example of an authority brand. I can't operate on myself. I have to trust that they can do it. So trust is very important. But how do you build trust? You can't just go out and say, hey, trust me, I'm good at this, because everyone will say, that's what they all say, right? It's not very convincing. You have to make people feel the trust. You can't just proclaim it. And all of those 15 squares are built that way. We show you how to create the feeling so that it's just felt and it's just known that you're trustworthy. Okay, and then they buy. So in her case, trust is built by 4 components: affinity, which is happiness or humor, or basically just a good feeling; approval, which is, in her case, be social proof, people that say, know that the product is good. Okay. Altruism, there's a good reason why she's doing this. It's not just to make money. It's because it's good and it's timely, and it's about time somebody did something like this. A lot of people need this. Okay. And community, in her case, building that family, the belonging. If she works on all 4 of those factors, and we show you exactly how to structure the things so that you do, that builds trust in her brand. And so every message she creates, every email she creates, everything on her website or an ad somewhere or social media post will have certain formulaic things in it. We show you what to put in it. And then it's just a matter, it just creates the trust. The formulas work not because they're devious or because they're brilliant. It's because they're so simple that the subconscious mind just says, I get it. Wow. Okay, boom, next. And so advertising is at its most genius level when it's simple and easy. And it goes right into the subconscious, and it takes up residence there, which is what you want.
Yes.
You overcomplicate it, you turn people off, and they run away screaming. We don't want that, right? So authority is her brand. Now, if each of you took the test differently for your brands, you're going to get all kinds of different. You're not all going to be the authority brand, of course, and you don't want to be, because the authority brand has all these tactics over here. And let's say you were an attraction brand. You're a brand that transforms people, makes people better. You're a coach or a mentor, or somebody that a university could be an attraction brand. It'd be a different set of marketing principles for you, because we're trying to convince people of something they may not believe, that they could change and improve. So every one of these is so totally unique, that and all the strategies are different. There are hundreds of strategies. You won't see them all. You just see the ones that apply to you. Does that help? Is that what you're looking for, Bettina?
Yes, and
Okay.
and what's really great is the summit is its own brand. And so we deliver a little bit more on the fascination, and obviously we still have the authority brand built into it. So these distinctions are really important, and it explains why we are doing meetings as a way of building community, as a way of exploring and explaining our authority in the online marketing world with Lee Romanoff from Income Activator. And so it was like music to my ears to see that we actually came out as the authority brand. There's the downside of that is that if there's anything amok, anything that could ruin the business in like a heartbeat, right? So that's why everything has to be in the highest level of integrity, what we're doing, and we deliver again and again to our members, and that's what you guys share with us. And we of course attract the same like-minded people, so we're all cut from the same cloth, so to speak. So I love that we're going to dive a little bit deeper at the We Empower You Global Virtual Summit on June the 9th with your program. And in the meantime, if you can bring up the, put in the chat, the link, you can also show them what it looks like. We'll go ahead and have folks go ahead and register for the free report, because the free report is of extreme value. Maybe we can cover that in closing.
Yeah, if I will be glad to. Can I share my screen?
Oh, yes, I need to do that for you.
And then I'll show everybody something free. One of the best words ever invented.
Free.
Free.
Okay.
Here's a free, as long as we're giving away stuff for free. Here's my 6 most powerful words in copywriting. So if you take notes, but I'll just say it in a sentence. Free, because you instantly imagine new. Okay. Free, because you instantly imagine new. Now, you don't use it like that in a sentence, but those are the 6 words. If you were writing headlines, free is way better than discounted. It's way better than a percentage off. Everyone knows what free is. Nobody knows what a discount percentage is. They have to calculate that. Wrong brain. But free is good. Free because because you are, whatever follows because is instantly believed. Your mom and dad drilled that into you because I said so. Instantly, we all want everything right now. Nobody wants to wait. You, the most popular word in the world is you. Isn't that nice? Nobody gets tired of hearing you. You are great. I'm talking to you. You are important. Use you, you or you'll all the time. Get rid of I, we, and us. See, imagine opens up the door to the subconscious. Imagine if it was only, if you only had a blank, right? And new, there's nothing better than new. Improved is lousy compared to new. Be new, don't be improved. Okay, that's my quick
That is fantastic. And I know
copywriting
we have
lesson.
one hand up. TU has a question.
Oh, okay. Let me stop the share because that didn't work anyway. Go ahead.
I wonder if that was related to your invitation. Are people sending out texts?
For text?
No, when Bettina first started the meeting, I wonder if it was from that.
Because I think she had a love, not a hand up. So that's why I thought it was a new hand up. TU, if you have a question, go ahead and unmute and we'll take your question. Does anybody else have a question? Unmute yourself.
I have a question. You said you had like your first level of report was like 300 and something.
Yeah, we only have one level. Actually, it's all or nothing at all. It's like a Sinatra song over here. It's $397, money back guarantee, 30-day money back guarantee. So you get to see everything before you really have to decide.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, most businesses spend more on office supplies than they spend on this kind of a self-assessment. So we really encourage people to check it out. And what I'm going to do now is, let's see, share my screen. I'm going to give you something free. Let's see if this works. There, you're all looking at the how emotions sell everything. This is Bettina's page, and it's available for all members. And I'll put a link in the chat where you can get to it. I just want to show it to you. This is it. Just put your name and email in there and you will get this free report, How Emotions Sell Everything. And it'll give you a real nice free introduction to the principles that we teach and why they're important. And then if you decide later you want to go ahead and get the report for your brand, obviously do so. But this is absolutely free. And I've had a lot of people tell me it really opened up their mind to, it'll make you think differently. We point out a lot of things in there. You know, I'll just bring out one cool point. The best brands are never the #1 brands. Isn't it funny? Is McDonald's the best hamburger?
Nope.
Nope. Yet it's the #1 brand, and it's going to sell more burgers in almost any city in America than any brand anywhere else in the city. But it's because they understand how to promote the burger way, way better. And that it's simple. That's all. And I'm going to stop the share here, but you know, we show you that you don't have to be the best brand. If only the best brands won, there'd only be one brand in every category. So everyone else would just quit. So you know, you can be a very average brand or even a non-exciting brand, maybe a dull brand, even like milk or something. And you just create a very exciting ad campaign around it. And all of a sudden your product is exciting. And we show you all these little tricks, basically, that you can use. Big brands spend millions of dollars to use them. They use them every day on you. Now you get a chance to use the same tactics, strategies, and formulas in the marketplace. And their biggest fear is that you'll wake up one day. They'll wake up one day and say, wait a minute, all these little brands are using the exact same formulas that we use. Because formulas are free. There's no royalty on emotion. You can use it as much as you want. You can use the words that we give you. You can use the formulas that we give you. It's the same formulas that built billion-dollar brands. You just scale it down to your size. You just don't spend as much as they do. That's the only difference.
Yeah, and you can take a lot of time and a lot of energy and effort and spend a lot of money, or you can just take a 5-minute test and simplify it and get it done and knock it out of the park. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming here today and giving us the the Admanity Protocol download. And does anybody have any questions? Go ahead and open up your mic if you do. And we'll.
Yeah, how do we get that?
Cosby.
I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Is it on your website? Going to be in yours, Bettina?
It's actually, it will be on my website. Right now, it's actually living on another, on the Admanity site.
This is on the web right now. I don't know if it could be on your site tomorrow, but this is just her link to it. And we prefer that you go through that link because there's extra bonuses and benefits if you decide to buy. You get a way better deal through Bettina than you will if you go directly through our site. So please, don't shortchange yourself. And if you don't buy, that's okay too. You'll get some emails from us and, no harm, no foul, but we will educate you. And if you have questions, you can write to us and we're happy to help. It's an amazing program. All I can tell you is the testimonials from people who don't have to give me testimonials. People who are very, very wise and very marketing savvy and who probably don't lend their opinion very often. I've had some very, very sincere compliments from people who know better. And if you use it, it will help you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brian. It's been great to have you here today.
Sure.
Next up, we have Millionaire mentor, Lee Romanoff from Income Activator. And we had her out of commission last week, but she's back and she's looking great and full force. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to have to say and share with us today. Lee Romanoff, I'm going to have you unmute and take it away.
Yay. So Brian, just so you know, so that I look younger, I'm free to get home. So if anybody has to go home, I'm free. I'll just go right there. Okay, so let's take a look at things. I've got a lot to review today because I was away. You guys are going to get a double dose, but it's going to be fine. Do you see this screen where the beautiful woman's eyes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not my nose. Those are not my eyes, but that's exactly how my eyes were since the beginning of March. And they kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And ironically, my sister found this article at around mid-March, which coordinates perfectly for what happened to me. They said that, if you're getting inflamed eyes, pains, headaches, all that kind of stuff around this time, that they're relating it back to the rollout of 5G. So this was me for 3.5, 4 months. And Sally knows how much pain I was in. I got one of Sally's sessions. And also when I was talking to Debbie, she was also noticing that small birds were dying in her house. And there's a lot of reports of small birds falling from the sky at that time too, still. So it's like the canary in the coal mines. It's affecting eyes and birds mainly. And what I did was all I did to get my eyes back over like in a day and a half was I put Vaseline around them. So consider if people are getting rashes too. So if you've got inflamed eyes, try to put Vaseline around them. And maybe that will help you like it helped me. It just like turned my life around. If you're getting rashes, put Vaseline and put some saran wrap over the rash and it will generally go away in a day and a half. So this is my public service announcement. I am not a doctor, but I am prepared to date a doctor.
All the disclaimers, we are not a medical organization, and I'm so glad that you found the thing that worked for you. In fact, I grew up putting Vaseline on my face every day, and we were talking earlier about my youthful appearance. So maybe it goes back down to Vaseline, who knows?
Yeah, it actually made my skin all over feel really good. I also I did this, what stops 5G? And so now I own that bracelet. I own this. My house is covered in these little rocks. So I'm not sure what happened.
You probably would have done voodoo to get your eyes back to normal, right?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's what I did. It may help. Now, our Red Ribbon on Fire Awards, okay? Art got an award last week, but I wasn't here. he emailed me and said, from the ebook templates that are free on the Income Activator website and through the We Empower You membership, he's creating a book where every ebook page, he said, makes some money, which is great because you can add links to your ebooks and either forward them to your courses, your website, affiliate programs. But I thought, for Art, wouldn't it be cool if he created a book and put it on Kindle that said, every page makes you, not him, but the person that buys the book, money. And that would be great for anybody here in a financial situation to adopt something like every page makes you and gives you the result of what you're promoting. I'll give you an example of this. Every page makes you empowered.
Oh,
It's an idea. And where Bettina could invite everybody that's a member to have their own page and tell, the reader how they can help them in whatever situation there is. And we've got this book open for contributions right now, and it's free to contribute. Contribute. Okay. I was dealing with Susan a few days ago, and she could write a book easily. Every page makes you choose love over fear. Very effective book because that's her message. So everybody that is here could write a book in, over the weekend and just give your, every page can do something for you and just create it so that it gets to your goal and will get to their goal. Moving right along on your Income Activator, just go to your members your manual section, search for ebook, and you'll get about 12 award-winning ebooks that you can pick, choose, and refuse. And you can use them for courses, ebooks, whatever you want to do. But these are award-winning ebooks, and all you do is enter your content and your pictures. They're really easy. It's a PowerPoint, essentially, ebook. You could put up an ebook on Kindle, direct it back to your website for revenue generation. The next Red Ribbon Award, I'm not sure if Rita's here, but her red ribbon is she
I'm
came.
here.
Yeah, all right, your red ribbon, yay. Okay, good.
Yay.
And her red ribbon was, Haley, I can sell my course, Money Straight Talk, for $9.95 once, or I can include it free for my clients in the We Empower You membership and get $800 annually for my course. She chooses, because she's a financial wizard, to get $800 annually and give her Money Straight Talk course for free. Makes sense. 10 of her clients who want her Straight Talk course would generate her $8,000 annually. Pretty sweet. And as a bonus, my clients get the extra benefits of an all-inclusive website, a TV show spotlight streaming on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, Google Play, Roku, and Android TV, a sponsorship package, media contacts, and joining the network to talk and connect and work with all us great people that are on right now. You can't beat that with a stick, because the goal is to have a website that generates revenue from your traffic, sending leads to businesses that pay you, a TV show that promotes your website, so it sends traffic to your website that generates revenue without you doing anything, just sending leads to businesses through your directory that generates revenue, and a sponsorship package where a sponsor would say, yes, I align with your message, and I will run ads and promote this TV show, which sends more visitors to your website where you generate revenue from leads, so that you're not doing, you're promoting instead of doing, and you're sitting back on the beach. Just got to get this going. So that would be great for all your clients. So take a bow, Rita. I'm glad that you got the aha moment where you could turn this into annual revenue. Very good. And offer it free to your clients. How does that work? Wow. Lee's doing the double talk again. Okay. Okay, scams. We're being hit right now heavy with phone scams. If you get calls from the government or anything, or the governments don't generally call you to threaten you. They do, they can threaten you, but they don't generally call you, and they don't generally email you. They send you letters. So if you get a call or an email, it's a scam. Usually when you click on where they ask you to click, it will download spyware. So if you don't know who's sending you information through your forms or just general emails, and they've got a link to click on, don't click on it. Take it, you can search them online, don't click on that link. Photos, there's a lot of people saying, okay, copyright, pay me $5,000 for copy, you know, you got an image there. Well, that's easily traceable too. They just find images. They've got traditional letters. Ideally, copywriting, if you actually have a copywritten picture, a true company would just say, ask you to take it down. They're not going to charge you $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. You know, they just say, hey, can you take it down? If they're charging you money, they're scamming you. They're part of the scam things. Just ignore it, delete it, or send it to me and I'll deal with it. A lot of SEO, you see a lot of people sending you, oh, you know what, I just saw your website online and I thought you'd be interested in an SEO, you know, package for $2,500 a month. If they found you online, you don't need your SEO, okay? You can say, hey, why don't I charge you for my SEO skills? Because obviously you're finding my website and I have no idea where your website is. Turn it around. I saw your link was broken. Same idea. If there's a broken link on your website, then fix it. But it's a scam. So be careful of these scams because they're horrible, horrible, horrible scams. Oh, here's another one. Great scam. Watch this. Do you see this little puppy dog? Can you see that? Anyone say yes?
Yes.
Good, thank you. See this is a doll. This is a doll. They're selling it as a doll. It's a really damn cute doll, right? It's realistic teddy dog Lucky. Okay, is that cute? So
Yeah.
here, if you see something like this, it's really adorable. What you do is you Google stuff on who bought this, and this person bought that doll.
It says that it's handmade or handcrafted from this, package here. It's from the Netherlands. Well, it shows that it's priority from Netherlands. Comes in this package. It wasn't even nicely wrapped. And then inside that, you get it in this little plastic bag. But look at the back. There's some Asian writing. So that was one thing that I had scammed on. So I got that today. Needless to say, it took 6 weeks. Anyways, I want to show you this dog. This is the dog. Just a plain old stuffed animal. Lips don't move. You squeeze it, nothing. Nothing. It's just a plain old dog. I mean, I waited 6 weeks thinking that, I could have just I could have bought a gun. I could have bought like any other stuffed animal. Like this doesn't even move. I'm so.
Okay, so do your research, okay, before you buy stuff, because it's definitely, it's really, really going extreme now, okay? It's really upping. I think Rosie paid $1,000 to buy a real dog online, scammed her out of $1,000. Okay, talk to Rosie. She feels the pain. So what are we going to talk about? Aha, more scams. Imagine a world where YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook merge to become known as You Twit Face. Okay. Is my attitude showing? Okay. Oh, well. Okay. And you know, people who have their Google PhD, right? They're always saying, well, you know, you're wrong. I Googled it, you know. Well, here we're going to listen to, she was a CBC journalist. She's been a journalist, Cheryl Atkinson, and she couldn't stand it any longer. And what we're going to do is we are going to listen to her. It's a 10-minute video worth your time as she talks about what's happening in regard to the truth online. It's called astroturfing, and it's fake grassroots information. And why we're listening to this is because everybody here has a business where bigger businesses want to silence you. And they're silencing you through astroturfing. And if you can explain to your clients now, or put this video on your website that I'm about to show you on what astroturfing is, then they don't go up to say, oh, well, I just Google it and you're wrong. Okay. So it's important to now be able to address this situation that's going on online. So let's listen to her. 10 minutes. Well worth it.
So consider this fictitious example that's inspired by real life. Say you're watching the news and you see a story about a new study on the cholesterol lowering drug called Cholextra. The study says Cholextra is so effective that doctors should consider prescribing it to adults and even children who don't yet have high cholesterol. Is it too good to be true? You're smart, you decide to do some of your own research. You do a Google search, you consult social media, Facebook and Twitter. You look at Wikipedia, WebMD, a nonprofit website, and you read the original study in a peer-reviewed published medical journal. It all confirms how effective Cholextra is. You do run across a few negative comments and a potential link to cancer, but you dismiss that because medical experts call the cancer link a myth and say that those who think there is a link there are quacks and cranks and nuts. Finally, you learned that your own doctor recently attended a medical seminar. The lecture that he attended confirmed how effective Cholextra is. So he sends you off with some free samples and a prescription. You've really done your homework. But what if all isn't as it seems? What if the reality you found was false? A carefully constructed narrative by unseen special interests designed to manipulate your opinion. A Truman Show-esque alternate reality all around you. Complacency in the news media combined with incredibly powerful propaganda and publicity forces mean we sometimes get little of the truth. Special interests have unlimited time and money to figure out new ways to spin us while cloaking their role. Surreptitious astroturf methods are now more important to these interests than traditional lobbying of Congress. There's an entire industry built around it in Washington. What is astroturf? It's a perversion of grassroots, as in fake grassroots. AstroTurf is when political, corporate, or other special interests disguise themselves and publish blogs, start Facebook and Twitter accounts, publish ads, letters to the editor, or simply post comments online to try to fool you into thinking an independent or grassroots movement is speaking. The whole point of AstroTurf is to try to give the impression there's widespread support for or against an agenda when there's not. AstroTurf seeks to manipulate you into changing your opinion by making you feel as if you're an outlier when you're not. One example is the Washington Redskins name. Without taking a position on the controversy, if you simply were looking at news media coverage over the course of the past year or looking at social media, you'd probably have to conclude that most Americans find that name offensive and think it ought to be changed. But what if I told you 71% of Americans say the name should not be changed? That's more than 2/3. AstroTurfers seek to controversialize those who disagree with them. They attack news organizations that publish stories they don't like, whistleblowers who tell the truth, politicians who dare to ask the tough questions, and journalists who have the audacity to report on all of it. Sometimes astroturfers simply shove intentionally so much confusing and conflicting information into the mix that you're left to throw up your hands and disregard all of it, including the truth. Drown out a link between a medicine and a harmful side effect, say vaccines and autism, by throwing a bunch of conflicting paid-for studies, surveys, and experts into the mix, confusing the truth beyond recognition. And then there's Wikipedia. AstroTurf's dream come true. Billed as the free encyclopedia that anyone can edit, the reality can't be more different. Anonymous Wikipedia editors control and co-opt pages on behalf of special interests. They forbid and reverse edits that go against their agenda. They skew and delete information in blatant violation of Wikipedia's own established policies with impunity, always superior to the poor schlubs who actually believe anyone can edit Wikipedia, only to discover they're barred from correcting even the simplest factual inaccuracies. Try adding a footnoted fact or correcting a fact error on one of these monitored Wikipedia pages and poof, sometimes within a matter of seconds, you'll find your edit is reversed. In 2012, famed author Philip Roth tried to correct a major fact error about the inspiration behind one of his book characters cited on a Wikipedia page. But no matter how hard he tried, Wikipedia's editors wouldn't allow it. They kept reverting the edits back to the false information. When Roth finally reached a person at Wikipedia, which was no easy task, and tried to find out what was going wrong, they told him he simply was not considered a credible source on himself. A few weeks later, there was a huge scandal when Wikipedia officials got caught offering a PR service that skewed and edited information on behalf of paid publicity-seeking clients in utter opposition to Wikipedia's supposed policies. All of this may be why, when a medical study looked at medical conditions described on Wikipedia pages and compared it to actual peer-reviewed published research, Wikipedia contradicted medical research 90% of the time. You may never fully trust what you read on Wikipedia again, nor should you. Let's now go back to that fictitious Colextra example and all the research you did. It turns out the Facebook and Twitter accounts you found that were so positive were actually written by paid professionals hired by the drug company to promote the drug. The Wikipedia page had been monitored by an agenda editor also paid by the drug company. The drug company also arranged to optimize Google search engine results, so it was no accident that you stumbled across that positive nonprofit that had all those positive comments. The nonprofit was, of course, secretly founded and funded by the drug company. The drug company also financed that positive study and used its power of editorial control to omit any mention of cancer as a possible side effect. Once more, each and every doctor who publicly touted Colextra or called the cancer link a myth or ridiculed critics as paranoid cranks and quacks or served on a government advisory board that approved the drug, each of those doctors is actually a paid consultant for the drug company. As for your own doctor, the medical lecture he attended that had all those positive evaluations was, in fact, like many continuing medical education classes, sponsored by the drug company. And when the news reported on that positive study, it didn't mention any of that. I have tons of personal examples from real life. A couple of years ago, CBS News asked me to look into a story about a study coming out from the nonprofit National Sleep Foundation. Supposedly, this press release coming out said, the study concluded we're a nation with an epidemic of sleeplessness and we don't even know it. And we should all go ask our doctors about it. A couple of things struck me about that. First, I recognized the phrase, ask your doctor, as a catchphrase promoted by the pharmaceutical industry. They know that if they can get your foot through the door of the doctor's office to mention a malady, you're very likely to be prescribed the latest drug that's marketed. Second, I wondered how serious an epidemic of sleeplessness could really be if we don't even know that we have it. Right? It didn't take long for me to do a little research and discover that the National Sleep Foundation nonprofit and the study, which was actually a survey, not a study, were sponsored in part by a new drug that was about to be launched onto the market called Lunesta, a sleeping pill. I reported the study as CBS News asked, but of course I disclosed the sponsorship behind the nonprofit and the survey so that viewers could weigh the information accordingly. All the other news media reported the same survey directly off the press release as written without digging past the superficial. It later became an example written up in the Columbia Journalism Review, which quite accurately reported that only we at CBS News had bothered to do a little bit of research and disclose the conflict of interest behind this widely reported survey. So now you may be thinking, what can I do? I thought I'd done my research. What chance do I have separating fact from fiction, especially if seasoned journalists with years of experience can be so easily fooled? Well, I have a few strategies that I can tell you about to help you recognize signs of propaganda and astroturf.
Okay, so this is just, I wanted to say, just before we go on, when your clients come to you and say, well, I searched online and I think you're wrong, they've been caught by astroturfing, and here are some of the things you can say back to them, along with directing them to this video.
Once you start to know what to look for, you'll begin to recognize it everywhere. First, hallmarks of astroturf include use of inflammatory language such as crank, quack, nutty, lies, paranoid, pseudo, and conspiracy. Astroturfers often claim to debunk myths that aren't myths at all. Use of the charged language tests well. People hear something's a myth, maybe they find it on Snopes, and they instantly declare themselves too smart to fall for it. But what if the whole notion of the myth is itself a myth and you and Snopes fell for that? Beware when interests attack an issue by controversializing or attacking the people, personalities, and organizations surrounding it rather than addressing the facts. That could be astroturf. And most of all, astroturfers tend to reserve all of their public skepticism for those exposing wrongdoing rather than the wrongdoers. In other words, instead of questioning authority, they question those who question authority. You might start to see things a little more clearly. It's kind of like taking off your glasses and wiping them and putting them back on and realizing for the first time how foggy they've been all along. I can't resolve these issues, but I hope that I've given you some information that will at least motivate you to take off your glasses and wipe them and become a wiser consumer of information in an increasingly artificial paid-for reality. Thank you.
So I think the paid-for reality is what a lot of people are fighting, and you've got to understand that it's absolutely true. Now, I wanted to just touch base on a clickbait thing I had talked about last week or a couple weeks ago. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth, you were asking me about earlier about this guy that had been canceled. Here's a good clickbait thing. Being canceled was the greatest thing that ever happened to this guy. It makes you wonder when you send out an email, so what happened to this guy?
Yeah, okay.
So you leave them with like okay, well, what happened? So they've got to click from your email to find out the answer. And that was an example I thought of after we hung up. Okay. And also when you send out an email with your clickbait, to have them click to your website, because that's all you want to do with an email. You don't want to educate or inform. All you want them to do is get the email and do an action, which is clicking to go to your website. Then you've got them. If you can't get them to click to go to your website, then you've lost the action that you really need them to do. And you can't measure your action either, because what you're doing is you're sending out emails. You don't know if they're doing anything really. So always send them to your website, not a social media website, and also put in a title so that someone can find it in a search a week later. So in this regard, guy being canceled, and people would say, oh yeah, what was that email about a guy being canceled? So they can easily do a quick search, email search, to find that if they want to send it to somebody else. Okay. Just like, boy, find true love. Yeah, right. Here I am. So, and notice that the large companies really pay attention to this. Like this is Pinterest. All it is a title and images. They just want you to click to go to their website. That's it. So follow the multi-million dollar companies on what they do. They're showing you, they're telling you, they're not describing all these great things. They're just giving you images and a title, things you might be interested in, that you click to go to their website. That's it. That's what an email is supposed to do. Give an action, click to go to your website. Should I say that one more time? Okay, so next week is going to be a big week. Tell your friends. What we're going to do next week is how to take these weekly marketing videos as your own, how to download them, and how to create your own channel with these marketing videos. So you don't have to create a marketing video, and how to drive traffic from your channel to your website in these meetings. Your website should be able to generate revenue, and these meetings, anybody that comes to these meetings through you and joins membership, you get $800 annually. So right now there's merging video channels, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch. They are huge right now. They are exploding. So if you simply took these marketing videos that I do every week, download them, upload them to any one of your channels. You should actually have a channel on Rumble and BitChute and Twitch. Put your own cover on it, and then direct people to your website. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do these videos. And every day, every week, we give you a new video, a new training video. And people, more than anything, right now, need to know how to generate revenue online. And if they just start copying what you do, they will be able to generate revenue, just like we're going to train you to do. So that's next week's marketing meeting, what we're going to be talking about and showing you how to do it. So basically, you can take all of Bettina's videos, create your own channel, your own covers, and send the traffic to your own website. It's gravy for you. Okay, so I'm done. I'm going to stop sharing.
My, you are short and sweet and to the point this week. All right, let's open it up to questions. Open up your mics, Rita. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks, Lee, for sharing that. That's awesome. Yeah, excited about a lot of what's going on and happening, and really just the fluid conversations. And by the way, I got to meet with Allie. I just want to give her kudos because she's amazing. And if you haven't met with her yet, you should. The question that I had, and I apologize because I was late for a meeting, and I don't know if you already went over it, is when you get these emails, and I know they're, they're bogus. It's the ones where, and I want to share the experience because it happened to me, that they're wanting to help you with your reputation management. And then you go and they tell you like, right, this is what we saw or what have you. And they want you to click and you can go see it. And I actually had a situation where I knew it was bogus because of what they said. They obviously had not researched it. They talked about how I lost people's money in the stock market and things like that. So I knew that wasn't me. I don't even do stock market pieces. So they didn't do the research, but they created a page or reviews or testimonials or something that seemed to be real. I forgot what it was called now. And it's very popular. So they're doing these reputation management and they'll put something out that looks like you, totally this review and things like that, but you got to look at it and you can see it without clicking anything. I looked up what the company was or what the link is. I went and did the Google search of it. And that's how I found out. And I saw the page or what they had created. This is what it was, that they were a reputation management company. I looked at the Google searched them and it did come up where it had this bad review of me, but I noticed that the review was like, I don't know if it had the time, but it was the same day that they sent me the email, the same day. And if nothing else, like within minutes of like, they completed what they'd done and they shot me the email. It was the only one. It was completely obvious. I want to call it Hootsuite, but it wasn't. I know what Hootsuite is. It isn't that. So how much of that are you seeing? Because I'm seeing I'm getting emails because they're seeing my number on my website and, or calling me or my email, and then they're sending me these
Yeah.
emails.
Unscrupulous competition has actually, one of my clients has had a number of really bad reviews that aren't real. And it's you can't get them off of Yelp, you can't get them off of Google, and it's just a nightmare. And it takes an inordinate amount of time to attempt to get them cleaned up, and even writing comments thereafter to try to explain to the public that's seeing this non-reality. And so it definitely is happening. And you know, we had one of our members get scammed here recently with the whole puppy sort of situation, a real puppy situation, not a fake puppy situation, but the whole thing was fake. So just to, you know, what Lee is saying is, you know, be careful. We're all getting a lot of emails. We're all getting a lot of content directed in our path. It's really easy to just jump in and say, hey, yeah, sign me up to that. Just be really cautious.
Yeah. If you wonder, could this be a scam? It's probably a scam.
Yeah, that's actually.
Should I
that's
click on
actually
this
true.
link? Don't click on this link. Your
Yeah.
intuition.
Yeah. A few of us were looking for new places to live this week, and we found a number of fake places in Craigslist. And, you know, just the stories, just even in this last week that I've had experience, and I didn't even know Lee was going to talk about this at all. You know, between the dog and the apartments, and then the business owner, it seems like it's a weekly occurrence that you hear of somebody going through a challenge around either their own reputation or somebody trying to scam them out of something. So just be cautious. That's what that's all about.
And if you guys aren't sure, just call me on Skype, call me on my phone, and ask me. And my answer will be, yeah, it is.
Yeah. And sometimes the answer is Vaseline.
Or Vaseline. Yeah. Thank you, Bettina.
Instead of take this drug, do this, you know, go see this doctor, go to this naturopath or whatever. It turns out the simplest answer is sometimes the actual answer. So thank you, Lee. I know you want to jet. Is there anybody who has a question for Lee? No,
Okay.
You're all good.
We'll talk about flat Earth, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, guys?
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lee. Bye for now. I'm glad that you're better.
That was just for Troy. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, well, now we're going to turn our attention to our networking round. And we have, of course, Brian here from Admanity. He's on Mountain Time. Do we have anybody from the Eastern Standard Time Zone? Allie, we'll have you go first then. It's a little later, but 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I so appreciate that, because it seems like when these meetings are going on, everybody's in the middle of their day, and I'm here like kind of rounding things out.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Bettina. I think this was a wonderful, wonderful group of presentations. Thank you, Brian, for that awesome information about Admanity, and I hope that some of us are really able to participate with that. I think just one thing I really want to touch on is what our theme of scams this week. And by now I have had the pleasure of working with a few of you guys, and Lee has spoken a little bit. I just want to bring up Lee's, the website again. I think it's called, I want to say it's News, Reviews, and Scams. And so just, I want to kind of remind us that Lee has set it up to where we have multiple opportunities to not only have to backtrack when we find information about ourselves online, like Rita with that review, but we have so many opportunities to try to combat that by preventing that with providing information to people upfront about our services so that we don't get in that situation in the first place. And some way that I can help with that is just that, as you guys know, writing is my specialty, and I haven't quite, I've been working with some of you guys on different ways, but we haven't really touched on the scam stuff or press releases. And I just want to offer again that if people are wanting help with writing press releases or just helping come up with information for their website or even other places like the breaking news site, which I'm not even sure if anybody, Lee has offered to give me access to the site to put up articles that we've written for our members, but nobody's taken me up on that yet. But once,
Sign me up.
someone, I'm sorry.
Sign me up.
Sign you up. Yeah. Where there are opportunities for us not to just put information on our own websites, like Lee says, but to put information on that website, which is geared to be that exact kind of thing. That's a place people can go if they're wondering about our services and saying, is this legit? They can see our information on other places and get a sense of credibility and trust. So I just want to encourage anybody to reach out to me if that's something that they need help with, that they need some writing support in that. I can help draft PR articles, or I can just help draft just things about your business so that we can really nip that in the bud and just kind of stop it before it happens. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I would say, is that we can make things easier on ourselves by putting in the work first so that we don't have to deal with it later.
Yes, and Allie, if you wouldn't mind reminding folks of the special that you have going on for us, that way, and maybe even a real-time example of somebody that you've done a press release for that's part of the group.
Yeah, so I unfortunately haven't done any press releases yet, just because we haven't really gotten there. I am working with some of you guys on more general website stuff and even moving towards content articles, but most of them are more geared towards different parts of their business. But what I do have for you guys is I'm offering, this really applies to the PR articles, or really just other smaller content articles in general that Lee talks about, with like those ones that are really under 300 words. They're very short and sweet, giving a topic about something in the website, something about your business, and then there's like a quick call to action. That can also be a press release or something like that. But for $20, I will go ahead and write that for you, or I'll take information that you have and we'll assemble that piece, and I'll even upload it to your site. So you don't have to worry about all the technical stuff. And if you, from wherever you're starting, we can draft that piece of information. I can put it on your site. I can put it on the breaking news site. If there's another place that we can think to put it together, I can do that too. So that's just $20. Like, there's really, I'm hoping that doesn't break the bank for anybody here. I think it's worth it in the long run. So please consider that. And if you just want to know more about what I can offer in terms of just general writing support, please get in touch with me as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Allie, and I'd love for you to write some swipe copy for the summit promotions, because we have about 2.5 weeks left and folks are in the business of promoting the summit. And so we've got about 30 some speakers, plus we've got members, on just under 50 members that all would love to not have to write their own copies. So if we can have some generic copy about the summit coming up, about even our speakers, I'm happy to pay you for that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, let's definitely, we'll be in contact about that, Bettina. Thank you.
That's great. Wonderful.
Do we have your contact information, Bettina?
Oh, yes. Put Allie, put your information in the comment section, or the chat rather.
Absolutely.
And then let's see here. I'm kind of trying to also manage the Facebook to make sure there's nobody out there. Cosby, you're on the East Coast too, right? Florida?
Yeah. Yes.
You want to go
yeah,
next? Thank you, Allie.
Get Allie's information about press releases. Yes.
Somebody's got a puppy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's me. My dog is barking. I didn't quite hear the last thing that Cosby said, but I will go ahead and put my information in the chat. Sorry, she's barking at some car that passed by.
No worries. Okay.
Great.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Cosby.
Hi, my name is
Have you back?
Cosby. Hi, my name is Cosby Young. I write music and sing, and also do poetry. So I'm really just trying to put everything together. I have some music out already. It's on Reverb Nation. It's under my name, Cosby Cosby Young Music. And so I was introduced to this forum by Bettina, and I think
And Lee.
Bettina got my info from Lee because Lee did a website. Yeah. So I'm glad to be part of Pretty much that's about it. I mean, I've been blessed to have done some other things, but this year it's like I have to get music out, and today it's just so different. People take music for granted, and things have changed so much with the digital age. So the last few years I had to learn a lot about the business, because when I first got into it, I didn't know any of these. It's really a business. Most people just listen to music, but they have no idea how the music actually gets in their ear, how you listen to it. And when you find out about it, it's like, wow.
Yeah, a lot has changed since back in the day
some
when.
of the things I've learned about over the years, I've been putting together so that I can really put everything more complete into my package, so to speak.
Great. Well, welcome, and
That's pretty much it. I mean, yes, downloads started the whole change. The download started the whole change.
yes, right.
When yeah, so so now we're like in a digital age, so things, it's just very, it's a little bit more different to get your, it's a little easier to get your music, but it's also when you're learning about it, it's not as easy to put everything together at once. So I've been learning that stuff. So
Yes.
so thanks,
Great to
Bettina.
have you.
It's nice to be part of this forum. We have a lot of good business interest here. And Brian's information was really quite helpful. I need him. Yeah, I'm gonna need him. Branding, yes. Branding is very important in music.
That's right.
So I look forward to working with getting hold of him with his information.
That's
too.
great. Yeah, and he
So
put in the
pretty
chat
much it.
our link there too for
That's
everybody.
pretty much.
Thank you so much, Cosby.
Anybody?
We'll go to Sally in my left corner and then Troy thereafter.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Sally Page. I'm a medical intuitive and a soul purpose coach. I've been doing this work for more than 16 years, and I specialize in helping people with serious illness, people who can't find solutions in traditional Western medicine, and people who would like extra support for serious disease or surgeries. I came to this work through a long journey. I have a degree in engineering and physics. And while I was working on the NASA SETI project as a systems engineer, I came down with metal poisoning, which the doctors didn't know what it was, described as chronic fatigue, and said, just live with it. If I did, I probably would have died, because I almost did die with it. And when I was in very bad shape, they finally figured out what it was. And big healing journey. I had another big healing journey with bacterial meningitis, where I almost died in a coma for 6 days on life support. So I've been on both sides of the healing journey, and through learning to heal myself, through researching and learning and taking classes and trying many, many things, I went on a journey to become a medical intuitive, and now I help people heal in a way that really lets them heal without so much suffering, and in a way that gets to the core of the problem. It doesn't suppress it, that it really gets to what's behind the problem and helps them live a more functional life. So what I do is I offer a couple different classes, but I also have this life force directory, because I feel right now, especially with everything going on in the world, people need to know there are medical alternatives to help them get the exact thing they need to have addressed, taken care of. So I would, if anyone does anything to help people heal physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, I would love to talk to you about what I do, because I'm really here to help people find the healing and self-empowerment on all levels, including consciousness and soul. And when you heal very deeply like this, you begin to thrive. Your life becomes, it just transforms everything, and life is just better. So if you want to be a part of that, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I will drop my information in the chat. Please feel free to contact me or set up a time to talk. Thank you.
Sounds great. And I don't know, Troy's going to go in next. I don't know if you two have had a chance to talk yet.
We
But
have.
that seems like a natural fit,
It's
right?
a great fit. Yeah.
Troy, you and I need to talk still about that, the topic of the health side too. So
Yeah. I was going to just talk about money today, but since I'm following Sally, I think it makes more sense for me to talk about the medical piece, at least for a minute here. So I'm
Yep.
Troy Thompson, and I've worked with Lee to help create your detox directory. And so one of the things that I do is help people detoxify their bodies from heavy metals and other toxins, which unfortunately are just everywhere. That's part of the world that we live in today, the air we breathe, the food we drink, or excuse me, the food we eat, water we drink, lotions, shampoos, clothing, everywhere. And what we get is little doses of poison every single day, and eventually we reach the tipping point and we end up with sickness. And so with sickness, we basically have more cells in our body that are bad, for lack of a better word, and that results in disease. And so we can actually fix that, just like Sally was talking about. There are ways to fix that. I worked as a registered nurse for 23 years. And so what I've seen with the medical community is they have answers, but they don't have a lot of solutions, especially for chronic inflammatory type situations.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things I do is called Daily Detox Plus, removes heavy metals and other toxins. And the other thing that was on my mind today, I help people with their money. So one of my favorite financial experts that I like to watch is Doug Andrew. And so I was watching a video by him today talking about proposed tax changes. And I know, taxes are boring, but the two biggest costs in our lifetime are opportunity costs and taxes. And so the short answer is I help people eliminate capital gains taxes, eliminate income taxes, put money into an account that's liquid, safe, earns a good return, and has tax-free. You can access it tax-free. And none of us are going to get out of here alive. So whenever that day comes that we ultimately die, the money we have blossoms to even more money, and it transfers to our beneficiaries tax-free. So that's what I do.
thank you so much, Troy. And you along with Rita and Sally, Mia are going to be speaking at the summit. Sally, you and I still need to connect about a topic titled and so on and do an interview. That brings me to Rita in the middle there, and then Mia, and then Elizabeth.
Hi everyone, I'm Rita Bacuzzi. I'm also known as Mama Rita Money. One of the missions that I have is to have an educated society, a financially educated society, because when we are educated, we are elevated, we make smart money decisions with ease, we have confidence around money, and we get to direct our money. And that is super important. So I have this vision to educate 1 million, facilitate the education of 1 million families within the next 10 years so that we can cut the bankruptcy rate in half due to medical related issues, cut the divorce or partnership breakups in half when it's due to financial discord in discussions around money. And so what I've gotten to do right now, can you just imagine if at graduation, you get your diploma and we all get out into the world and we learn and we start to make all this money, and what happens? We don't know what to do with it. Imagine if somebody gifted you a money education where you could learn about money, create your own financial positioning criteria, have a mind map so that you know what gaps to fill, and create an anchored plan so that you can flourish when you're going to make all that money, or for those that are already making all that money to keep that money. So actually this month I am doing a graduate special. So for all the high school grads and all the college grads, imagine they have at graduation a money education along with their diploma. I'm doing a diploma discount on my course for all the grads this year so that we can change and create an elevated society. And I'm asking for people to blast this out and share it so that this way, as they are educated, right? An educated society is an elevated society. It helps us all. It's their futures and ours. So you get to check out financialresetting.com. And as a bonus, if you have entrepreneurs that want to get their website done, get their radio show, get their marketing out there, their sponsorship, they can get my money education along with that, all captured together. So you could choose one or the other, whatever works best. Get educated, get us elevated and flourish. And that's what I get to do every day. And I love it.
Thank you. And you and I had a nice conversation on the taboo of money yesterday. And
Yes.
we're doing some Clubhouse as well as we move forward with promoting the summit. So I'm so glad that we're all collectively here working together as a community, and just a really great example of what's possible. And of course, you and Troy should be talking as well if you haven't already.
We haven't had a chance. We'll have to collaborate.
Definitely. Mia, are you available? Are you still basking in the sunshine there?
Is she still in Maui?
Callie,
She's back. She's
back.
back.
You're so funny. I wish I was still in Maui. No, I was
Right.
just actually in the shade in the backyard. I just needed some outdoor nature time. So I was out there, but it's good to hear everybody and see everybody that's been on today. It's been very interesting to listen to. And my husband said I slept through part of it. And I was like, I could still hear them.
I know my dad always used to say, watching the football games, you know, his eyes completely closed, and he'd go to turn the TV off and he'd go, I'm still watching. You're still listening, I guess.
Yes, I was still listening. So I'll be speaking at the summit, and I'm excited to share just tips and stories for helping to raise healthy, happy families and whatever else we want to talk about. Fitness is my passion. My day job is I'm a COO at a medical laboratory. So it's kind of all geared around helping people. And that's what I do. And that's what makes me happy. So whether it's you need help with fitness motivation, or you've got children at an age that you just are pulling your hair out and you find like you need a timeout to go to go in the bathroom and have a glass of wine, then you need to call me. I don't know if that hits any of the demographics of people who are on still for today, but that is what my specialty is. And my husband and I have really been enjoying raising our 4 kids, and feel like we've done a pretty good job with it. And at least that's what people tell us. So that's what we want to share.
And you're steeped in writing and getting a book published. I love that you are, you know, this technically is therefore a side hustle because you have your main role right now as the COO. But eventually the goal is to be doing more in this field of coaching and mentoring families that need what you have. So I'm so excited to see you grow and flourish in this desire to be all that there is to be and help these families grow.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mia. And
Thank you.
last but not least, we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, we haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. There you are visually. There you are. Unmute.
I undid the video. I got the video, but I forgot to unmute. Yes, boy, today's class was amazing. It was both. I was going to say I wanted to ask Brian a question before he popped off.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can see that Brian can use the keywords for your particular brand. And how does that work when you are doing a clickbait, as Lee would say? And I'm just kind of, because with Lee, it's you want something that's short and sweet. You just get people to your website, but you'd also have to use Brian's technique in those clickbait words. So it'll be a lot to learn, but it would be fun to have asked him that before he left.
Yes, well, he's available through, I can put in the chat what his contact information is, so that you can chat it up with him. And he's of course going to be a presenter a couple of times at the summit to dive a little bit deeper. Let me go back to my email here real quick and get his information for you. And you know, what's interesting is, like, I mean, my field is marketing. I mean, I've been in marketing. My company's been a marketing agency for 28 years in this May. And when I took this very short test, it reminded me like I was taking the DISC profile, which is a personality profile, or the Myers-Briggs, or the Strength Finders 2.0, or IOPT, so many different studies that I've taken that are usually under 20 minutes that you take it. And then they deliver back to you stuff that really resonates with who you are as a person. And I saw the potential before I took it of how would it benefit me to know what was my, the emotions, the words, the colors, even the images that I should be using. And it turns out that I had it half right and half wrong, because you know, right now it's Lee and I together. That makes the brand a little different just by that alone, because we're not the same people. But if we're going to continue with our brand, and this is where Allie comes in, creating swipe copy, you can read my entire 150-page document, Allie, and look at it and then realize, oh, this is what I need to write for Bettina's brand. Then Elizabeth might have her own report, and you know, Allie, you might have your own report. Then you can do more accurately using messaging than you could without this information. Just like when I have the DISC and the Strength Finders, and I better understand myself, I also better understand other people. So when I took this and I saw it and I read the 150 some pages, I was just completely blown away. So I definitely recommend anybody who's interested, get in touch with them. I'm going to pop his information in the chat.
I mean, when I first heard of Brian a couple summits ago, I just was sold on it immediately.
Yeah.
That he's got something very special that you would pay thousands and thousands for $397. It's amazing.
Yes. So here's his contact information in the chat.
Okay.
And go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you're up to. There might have been people trying to communicate with me in the chat. It looks like that you might have been one of them that I got a direct message from.
It was about Brian.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'm just working on my website, and I got really stuck a couple weeks ago because what I do is called patriotsinform.com. And I just spend hours a day researching the news that you don't hear on mainstream media. And today's talk on astroturfing just so fit in. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to put it on my website because I talked to my own sister a couple of weeks ago, and I told her about something, and she right away went to Google and she went to Wikipedia and found all the negative things about what I was trying to tell her. And people have no idea that there's something out there because it's all being presented to you in a nice little package because they are controlling the narrative. And I just really like to have things on here on my website that people can say, hey, there is a different viewpoint. There is something else. This is going on. And I just try and bring a variety of different information. So that's what I do. But it's hard because there is a lot of cancellation because of the astroturfing, where search engines block what you say, or if they see certain keywords in an email, the email won't go through. So I'm having to work this through with Lee. So that's my challenge.
Yes, you have a challenge. And so does Debbie Waldeck, promoting the health and wellness field and others too. So, you know, we're all in the same thing. Like on Facebook, for example, I use my personal page to go live, and I use my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, that is, to educate and inform people about what it is I'm doing. And at the end of the day, if I use the terms money or a dollar symbol or anything that looks like free or these words, then it downgrades my post such that less people see it. And I know it. But at the end of the day, I still do it. I still promote myself in terms of this educational platform that we're building, because to me, it's something that I'm easily able to do. But I know that for every minute I put a dollar symbol, every time I put a dollar symbol in a post, it's going to actually get downgraded. So it's just
your audience is lessened. Yes.
Yeah. And so we all have to deal with these things. And I'm glad that Lee brought this up. The positive sides are also there, right? We have these huge opportunities. What we're going to be diving into next week is how do you take the content that we are creating? This is content. And I can take this content and Allie, I can give you the transcript from this entire meeting, and you can peel off different areas of discussion that might make for a really great blog. You can quote people, provided you recognize their voices. And if you don't, I do. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of content that we are developing that can be shared. And then you don't have to create your own content. You can use the content that we're creating. We create summit content. We have 34 speakers speaking this time around. That's 34, speakers. That's 12 hours of content that we're creating. So why are you going to create content if we already have content?
Perfect.
Created. So, and then there's some technical knowledge to gain, like how do you snag it to take a video that I've created off of YouTube. That is possible. You can't do it directly from YouTube, but you can do it using Snagit tools. Like that is what she's going to cover. So I'm excited for everybody to be being here. I'm going to go ahead and close out our evening together early this time around, only because I've got a 5 o'clock and I've been on camera since 8 o'clock this morning. So, and then I'm going right to a Zoom at 5 o'clock. So, in fact, that's Lauren Archer's Heart Wisdom Happy Hour, and it's one of the few things I do to, help my get centered in life. So, if you want to join us, go to Lauren Archer what I'll do is I'll put the link in the chat. Are there any final comments or thoughts that anybody wants to leave with us?
Just want to say thank you. Thanks for all that you do for all of us. You're always working so hard, and I appreciate it.
Oh, geez, that's so wonderful to hear. I hope I'm helpful. I try to be.
You are.
Yeah.
You are definitely helpful.
And I'm really excited about, the future that we all have together, locking arm in arm and walking step in step together, in this forever future that I call the future train, right? So thank you, Mia. Oh, here it is. Okay. So there, I'm going to just put in the Zoom link, and it starts at 5 o'clock. And Lauren would love to have been here. She's now got a conflicting meeting every Wednesday. And so she's only going to be able to see us a little bit, obviously a lot at the summit and a little bit here and there for meetings. So she'd love to have you. Okay, here goes that little bit of detail. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.